Okay, students. So in the last part of this video, that is translation, we have seen the initiation process. So in this video, we will see the elongation and termination and the post-translation modifications. So this was the initiation process which we saw. Next, we have the elongation process. So elongation is nothing but the addition of amino acids to the peptide chain which is forming. So the chain gets elongated and there are some elongation factors which are required for the process. So there are basically three steps in this: binding of amino acyl tRNA to A site, peptide bond formation and translocation. So in that first is binding of amino acyl tRNA to A site. So the ATS initiation complex which was formed in the initiation contains the met tRNA, so which is bound to the P site, whereas A site is free. So another amino acyl tRNA comes at the A site and it gets bind over there along with elongation factor 1A, and here the energy required comes from GTP. So you can see in this figure the P site is occupied by met tRNA, whereas initially the A site is free in the ATS initiation complex, and with the help of GTP and elongation factor 1 alpha, amino acyl tRNA binds to the A site. So that is your second amino acid, that is amino acid 2. Then comes your enzyme called as peptidyl transferase, which leads to bond formation between the met, that is your methionine, and your amino acid 2. So this all depends on the codon which is present. Now here AUG is the codon which is present on the mRNA. So the tRNA contains UAC, that is the anticodon. So hence this binding takes place. Next is translocation. So now this will get removed and you will again have amino acid. Again the A site will be free. So another amino acyl tRNA will bind to this and will lead to elongation of the peptide chain. So this is called as translocation. So binding of tRNA, then peptide bond formation takes place via peptidyl transferase enzyme, and the A site is again free for the next amino acyl tRNA, and here then translocation takes place. So basically it is the movement which requires elongation factor E2 and again energy in the form of GTP. And from the exit side, the peptide which is synthesized will get removed. Now incorporation. So approximately 6 amino acids are incorporated per second in eukaryote, and the accuracy and speed is very large in this. Next is termination process. So as we have already studied, there are stop codons. So these are the 3 stop codons which are present. So the tRNA is unable to bind because these are present on the mRNA, whereas the anticodons for this are not present. Hence the tRNA doesn't bind and it leads to termination of the process. So this is finally the termination. So this is the termination codon for which there are no anticodons present on the tRNA. So the termination takes place. We'll have a look at the PPT also. So in elongation, ribosome shifts over one codon. So several elongation factors are required and hydrolysis of GTP, which gives us energy. So the result is shift of unchanged tRNA from the P site, and the tRNA it is on the A site, so there is a peptide bond formation. Next tRNA base with next codon comes in picture and peptide chain grows. So there are 2 peptidyl site and amino acyl sites. So due to these the elongation takes place, and in termination it is due to the stop codons because there is no anticodon present on the tRNA for binding. So the release factor causes the translation complex to fall apart and cleaves the polypeptide from the final tRNA. So the polypeptide now is free from the cell and it is now available, and the mRNA is again available for translation. So another ribosome, so generally one ribosome binds to the RNA. Next, our ribosome takes place in further protein synthesis. So this is how the peptide bond is formed. A site here, amino acids keep on coming and then they get attached. So this is the formation of peptide bond. Now there are certain inhibitors of this translation process. So these are generally antibiotics. So first antibiotic is your streptomycin. So what streptomycin does, it causes misfading of the mRNA and hence normal pairing of anticodons and codons doesn't take place. So this occurs only in prokaryotics, hence it acts as antibiotic. Another example is tetracycline, which is again an antibiotic. So what it does, it inhibits the binding of amino acyl tRNA to the ribosomal complex. So this is also blocked in eukaryotic synthesis, but the thing is that it is impermeable into the eukaryotic cell membrane, hence it acts as a drug and doesn't inhibit our cells but that of the bacteria. Next is puromycin. So it has structural resemblance to amino acyl tRNA, hence that binding is again blocked in prokaryotes. Next example is chloramphenicol. Again, it is a competitive inhibitor of enzyme peptidyl transferase, hence it inhibits the peptide bond formation. Another is an erythromycin, which inhibits the translocation by binding with the 50S subunit of the bacteria. Now, in bacteria, we have 50S and 30S subunits, so it inhibits the binding to the 50S subunit. And lastly is diphtheria toxin, which is again inactivated by it prevents the translocation by inactivating the elongation factor E2. Next is post-translational modifications. So these are the inhibitors which we saw. Another example is also clindamycin, again which binds to the 50S subunit. So these are the post-translational modifications. So first is trimming. Then there are certain covalent alterations which occur due to these reactions, that is phosphorylation, glycosylation, hydroxylation, gamma carboxylation, isoprenylation and protein degradation. So trimming is nothing but removal of excess of amino acids. Phosphorylation, so it activates or inactivates the protein. Glycosylation, so it is mainly for the lysosomes, and hydroxylation is in the case of collagen. So hydroxylation reaction takes place in the peptide which is synthesized. So these are the different post-translational modifications. First is folding. Now till peptide bond formation, after that the tertiary structure of the protein is formed, so there is folding. Then you have pieces of polypeptide, that is proteolytic cleavage it is called, so unwanted is removed. And intine splicing, again the intine is similar to your introns which are not necessary, so those are removed. And lastly chemical modifications, so new chemical groups are added according to the structure which is required. So we have already seen phosphorylation, then hydroxylation, so example for that is vitamin C, for the formation of vitamin C. Glycosylation, it is for vitamin K. So these are the post-translational modifications. They have given the list of amino acids wherein different types of reactions takes place to modify the peptide which is synthesized. For example, if you see cysteine, there is formation of psilocystine formation and glycosylation. For lysine, it is acetylation, methylation, hydroxylation and so on. So this was in brief the process of translation or protein synthesis which we have seen. Thank you.